Good evening. My name is Erika Alejandro Barrasalira, and this is my presentation of the evidence number 3 of the model learning outcome number 3 of advanced English number 3. What are the main concerns for a global person who wants to be global? Okay, so first of all, we have to know what is being global. So being global, it's a person that actually cares about what is going on in the rest of the world. They also most of the time are very driven. They want to solve different problems. They want to know the situations of different people, and they really care about especially the communities that are oppressed. So, what the main concerns for a person that is global or that wants to be global is to know how the world works. Because if you don't know how the world works, you actually aren't going to be able to know what the problems are. Yeah, now that you know how the world works, you have to know what your place in the world is. So, for example, if we go on a society baseline, you have to know that you are uh, privileged because you're white. You have to know that you're privileged because you're a man. You have to know that you're privileged because you have a college education, because you know more than one language, etc. In order to know what your place is. Because if you believe that your experience is the same as everyone else, you don't actually understand how the world works. And then after you know how the word works and what's your place on it, you have to actually care about improving the situations of others and how you're going to be able to improve the situations of others, especially of marginalized communities, is by learning their problems and how you can fix them or at least lesser them on an ethical and proper manner. Because a lot of the time people wants to do activism, but they are doing it wrong because they don't even ask the oppressed community about how they should do it or what they need. They just are like, okay, so we're going to do X, Y, and Z when the community actually needs A, B, and C. So we need to speak with the people that is being oppressed, with the people that has the problem, in order for them to tell us like, this is what we need and this is the proper way to approach it. Now, what can you do to be in touch with the global community? There are many things you can do to stay in touch with the global community. Nevertheless, I would say that the first and probably the most important thing is to learn to be aware of what's happening in the world. Try to be the best to bring awareness on different situations that our people are living on their everyday life. So this is basically it. You have to stay informed. You have to know what's happening. You have to know what's the problem with other people, what's happening to oppressed communities. And after you know this and you actually care about it, you learn about it, you're going to be able to do something for other people. Now, which are the main values of a global person? These values aren't something that you can actually find in most websites because what defines a global person can vary from source to source. But at least for me, the values that represent a global person are respect, empathy, community, diversity, innovation, and that these people feels outraged by social injustice. So why these values? Respect because we have to be able to respect others. We have to understand that our culture is just one, our religion is just one, our experience is just one, and we have to be able to respect the experiences that other people is having. We also have to have empathy because we have to be able to understand what other people is going through. Probably something that happens to, let's say, black woman in their 40s, and also happens to me, uh, white passing Mexican male in his 20s. can be the same action, but how I perceive it and how she perceives it, it's going to be different. So I have to have empathy with her to understand how she is experiencing the same thing, and she has to have empathy to understand how I am feeling about the same situation. Now, community. If we have an actual sense of community with everyone else, a lot of problems would be over because it wouldn't be us versus them. It would be us against the problems. So we need to actually have a sense of community in order to look for different outcomes and different situations and different problems that we have to attack and how to solve them as a community. Diversity, again, it's very similar to community. We have to stop this discourse of us versus them. So in order for us to create an actual worldwide community, we have to be diverse and we have to start looking for innovation and for new ways to solve our problems and the problems of others. And out of all of these values, the one that I believe is the most important, except for probably respect, is to feel outraged by social injustice. Is to actually see injustice that is happening probably not even in our community but somewhere else, and be outraged by it and ask ourselves, how can we do something about it, and how can we work to help the oppressed community that is suffering from this social injustice. Now, what kind of attitudes or ideologies go against being global? So, again, this is kind of a hard answer, but from my point of view, any attitude or ideology that wants to make feels others as lesser than is against the global community because the global mindset is to allow everyone to have the same opportunities and to battle injustice everywhere for those unable to fight for themselves. So any kind of segregation, any kind of systemic racism, any kind of the patriarchy, for example, all those kind of systems that oppress others in order to hold someone or some standard of people in the top are against being global because those systems are saying because of your color, because of your size, because of your gender, because of your sexuality, you don't have the same value as me. So all these kind of ideologies go against being someone that is global. Now, why do we need to be global both in our businesses and in our daily lives? At the end of the day, we can be the best version of ourselves when we can include everyone. And we can become a safe space for people all over the world. And we can tell them, I know what you are going through because I learned about it. I want to help you. You're safe and you're important. And we can give you a chance to build a community to be important, to have an actual opportunity that isn't going to be that isn't going to be affected by your race, your sexuality, your gender, your color, your shape, or your size. So that's why we need to be global both in our lives, personal, as well as in our businesses, because that way we're going to help to create this culture and this community that see past our difference and that allow us to help each other no matter what we yeah, no matter our difference. It doesn't matter if I am a male and you're a female, or if you are a gender non-conforming person. We should all be treated the same way because we are global citizens and we want to have the same opportunities. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great day.